Howdy Y'all, Kaloth here. Well, like we talked about this morning, we did get some news updates today. We got the kit reveal for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, and gonna dive into that here in just a minute. Take a look at it and see what it looks like it's going to be able to do, and get some first impressions of it. Notably today, there are a few things we didn't get right. We didn't get any information about the Leviathan. We didn't get any information about what's coming next. So we know that a road ahead is going to be coming at some point, but that was not today. One of the big things that I was personally looking for that we didn't see was any information about the Zepho planetary zone, which, as we get into the Cal Kestis discussion, I think is going to be a little bit of a problem, because a lot of what Cal wants to do is going to be dependent upon how rewarding Zepho is. And the fact that it wasn't preceded by a big post has me a little concerned, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So let's go into the kit reveal, and we'll talk about kind of what we're looking at here. So here he is, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, light side. Not very many tags. Attacker, leader, Jedi. He's an attacker, not support like his unaligned force user version, so no zealous ambition shenanigans here, but I have a feeling that's not really going to be that necessary. It says Jedi Knight Cal Kestis has a very unique playstyle, different yet familiar from the rest of the roster of characters in Galaxy of Heroes. On his turn, he only has access to his basic ability, and his 3 specials are ability blocked. Once you use the basic, Cal will unblock these abilities, temporarily remove his basic ability, and give himself an immediate bonus turn. So, kind of reminds me a little bit of Gas with the, he's getting bonus turns, or he's able to use multiple abilities in his same turn. Kind of reminds me of Ki-Adi-Mundi as we kind of go in here. Cam has these different stance switches, which is kind of what Cal's basic is doing here. So he uses his basic, removes the ability block from his 3 specials, and then he can use one of the specials immediately after, and you get bonuses based on that. It says you will then use one of the abilities based on the lightsaber configuration seen in Jedi Survivor, dual wield, double bladed, or eventually crossguard. Each of these grants Cal an effect that reflects the different aspect of those configurations, and after that, Cal will have his basic returned to him, and the specials will once more be ability blocked, rinse and repeat. So this guy's going to be very tactical in how you use him, right? You're always going to start with a basic, and then you're going to have one of 3 specials to be able to choose from that not only are you going to be looking at the effect that the specials have immediately, but you're going to be looking at the effect that stance has on Cal. Says he'll be strong in territory battles. We kind of knew that was the expectation. Strong Jedi synergy. Spoiler alert, he is not a lifter for leftover Jedi. That was my interpretation of the announcement when they said that he is going to help complete Jedi squads that you've been cultivating over the years. No, he looks like he's going to slot straight into JML. I'm sure he's going to be great in a lot of different Jedi squads, but he really does look like the JML lifter that I know a lot of people wanted, so great there. He dispels buffs on his basic attack, and this is huge for me personally, because I don't know about any of you guys, I find myself using, of course, Jedi Knight Luke and Shock T, because of their ability to remove buffs with their basic. Now, obviously, Jedi Knight Luke has tons of uses even outside of that. He hits like a truck, and he's got a lot of great abilities. So does Shock T, really, but this is yet another Jedi with that dispel basic from, or dispel buffs from basic, which I personally love. His impetuous assault, which is the crossguard, is an instant kill. So JML now has an instant kill. This is great news. They said, they wanted the ultimate reward for playing through the Jedi Fallen Order event to be this version of Cal that's seen in Jedi Survivor. And 4 out of the 5 stances that he uses in Survivor are represented in this kit. And those stances they use are configuration because they call it configuration because he doesn't switch modes, but he gains an effect based on which ability he uses. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't really understand the distinction there, but cool. Strategy tips. I love this. JKCK slaps as leader in territory battles. I want to point something out here. JKCK. This is a tangent, but I see a lot of people say things like Cal, and they'll do it JKAL, all uppercase. And I'm thinking, what does that mean? Is it Jedi Knight Adam Lambert? Is it, I can't think of another AL off the top of my hand. But the point is, I've never understood the SWGOH community's need to put cutesy names on characters, because it invariably means that new players are going to come in and, well, who do you mean, JKAL? No, it's JKCK. I imagine that the community will probably eventually shorten this to JKC, but let's keep it simple. We don't have to get cute with this one. Another strategy tip, they say, learn how to alternate your specials, Whirlwind Slam, and Windmill Defense to make good tactical use there. And then Special 2 has the ability to provide a bonus turn for Jedi, which, again, that's another big one. Of course, there are a couple other characters that have that, notably Jedi Knight Revan, and we all know how useful that is. So let's look at the kit. Basic is Less Civilized Age, and I love this because his basic is his blaster configuration, which, if you play Jedi Survivor, is, personally, I think it's one of the more fun ones. So, deal physical damage to target enemy, dispel all buffs on them. If it's on his turn, unlock his specials, and then he gains a bonus turn, just like it mentioned above. During that bonus turn, he ignores taunt effects, and he may only use Windmill Slam, Windmill Defense, and Impetuous Assault. So basically, you get the bonus turn, you can only use your specials, and notably, you ignore taunt during this point, which is... I can't imagine you would want to permanently move Jedi Knight Revan out from Jedi Knight Luke, or Jedi Master Luke, but with Jedi Master Luke's Special 1, you can call an assist and ignore taunt. Of course, Jedi Master Luke just ignores taunt anyway. And then with this, Cal being able to ignore taunt when he uses his specials, maybe you don't always need Jedi Knight Revan, and maybe Revan can go live on his own somewhere. I don't know where that's going to turn out, but that's a possibility for sure. Special 1 is Whirlwind Slam. This one has an Omicron. And seriously, look at these animations. That puts any Inquisitor to shame as far as I'm concerned. Like, I don't know, the Inquisitors have their little helicopter spin. This just seems cooler. I don't know. Text is, if Jedi Knight Cal Kestis does not have configuration, if he doesn't have configuration double-bladed, he loses configuration and gains configuration double-bladed for the rest of the battle, and gets 5 stacks of Impetuous up to a max of 30 until the end of the encounter. This deals physical damage and inflicts speed down for 2 turns on all enemies. So, the core of this ability is it's an AoE damage with speed down for 2 turns, and then you get configuration double-bladed. At the start of his turn... Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I'm reading this wrong. Let me just read it. Okay, so if Jedi Knight Cal Kestis didn't have configuration double-bladed at the start of his turn, all allies gain advantage for 4 turns. Stun target enemy for 1 turn, inflict them with armor shred for the rest of the encounter, and daze all other enemies for 2 turns. Wow. Okay, so you don't want to you constantly want to be switching configurations here, because basically when you use this ability, so long as you didn't use it last turn, so you had a different configuration at the start of this turn, when you use this ability, not only are you dealing physical damage, you're inflicting speed down, you're giving advantage to your entire team, you're stunning the target, you're inflicting the target with armor shred, and you're dazing all other enemies. That is a monster special attack. And then, configuration double-bladed gives you 50% offense, 50% tenacity, and plus 2 speed per stack of Impetuous. It's got a max of 30, so that's going to give you up to 60 speed. And then, of course, the Omicron, while in territory battles, the next time Cal Kestis uses Windmill Defense, which is the other special we'll talk about, he recovers 50% health and protection, gives all allies protection up 20% stacking for 2 turns for each use of Windmill Slams since the last use of Windmill Defense. Interesting, so you can use Windmill Slam over and over again with this Omicron. And then the next time you use Windmill Defense, you're going to be recovering health and giving a variable number of protection up stacks based on how many times you did that, if I understand correctly. And then all allies gain advantage if you didn't have double bladed at the start of the turn, and stun all enemies for 1 turn, and inflict all enemies with armor shred for the rest of the encounter. So in territory battles, in territory battles, with the Omicron, this is an AoE stun and an AoE armor shred, potentially. That is really, really good. Okay, so second special, Windmill Defense. Just look at that. Wow, that is a... let's get my mug out of the way here. Look at that. That is a great animation. Let's just go back up here, because my face was probably in the way, too. There's our Whirlwind Slam animation. Look at that. Animations are great. Art team did a great job with this. So, if Cal did not have... If he doesn't have configuration dual wield at the start of the turn, he loses his configuration and gains dual wield for the rest of the battle and gains 5 stacks of Impetuous up to 30. So the ability, dispel all debuffs on all allies, call target ally to assist. I mean, that's very similar to what Jedi Knight Revan does, right? Already that's very similar to what Jedi Knight Revan does. And then Cal gains protection up, 50% stacking for 4 turns, which can't be copied. If he did not have configuration dual wield at the start of the turn, so basically if he used a different special last time, this time he gains riposte for 2 turns, can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Jedi allies gain protection up and retribution, and target other Jedi ally gains a bonus turn. I mean, that's very similar to what Jedi Knight Revan does, right? And then, of course, configuration dual wield is a 100% counter chance, 50% defense. Enemies have minus 2% offense per stack of Impetuous, so up to minus 60% offense. And then when another ally attacks out of turn, this character is called to assist, limit once per turn. Jedi Master Luke is calling allies to assist like crazy, so this is going to be huge there. Wow. Okay. Special 3, Impetuous Assault. This is the crossguard ability. So, text. If Jedi Knight Cal did not have configuration crossguard at the start of the turn, he loses his configuration and gains configuration crossguard for the rest of the battle and loses 5 stacks of Impetuous. So let me go up and make sure. So yeah, so Windmill Defense is giving stacks of Impetuous. Double Bladed is giving stacks of Impetuous. Impetuous Assault, the crossguard ability, is removing 5 stacks of Impetuous. The first time it is used this encounter, instantly defeat target enemy. So very similar in that regard to Commander Tano. Deal physical damage to target enemy. Inflict target enemy with ability block and stagger for 1 turn. And then inflict all enemies with force influence for 4 turns. All other allies gain defense penetration up for 2 turns. I'm here to tell you, watch next conquest. There is going to be a feat that's going to say gain defense penetration up 50 times, 100 times, something like that. It's not going to be a hard requirement for Jedi Knight Cal, although I promise you there will be requirements for Jedi Knight Cal in the next conquest. But I would almost bet money that you're going to see defense penetration up being a requirement for one of the upcoming conquest feats. Alright, so deal physical damage, inflict with ability block and stagger, and then all enemies get force influence and all allies gain defense penetration up. Configuration Crossguard gives you 50% crit damage and defense penetration, minus 25 defense, minus 25% defense, and 25% speed, and deal an additional 25% of this character's max health as damage when attacking. That's good. That's really good. That's really good. Notably, the way this is kind of worded is weird, right? Because after this description, we get into the while in territory battles Omicron stuff. And then at the very bottom, it says this ability can't be used unless Jedi Knight Cal has 30 stacks of Impetuous. Based on the way this is all presented, my expectation is that this line, the ability can't be used unless he has 30 stacks of Impetuous, is tied to the ability and not to the Omicron. I imagine this is just a hard requirement to limit this, right? So let's talk about the Omicron. In territory battles, Impetuous Assault deals an additional 10% of the target's maximum health per Jedi Knight Cal's Relic Amplifier level. So, like, if he's Relic 7, you're going to do 70% of the target's maximum health. If you're Relic 9, you're going to do 90% of the target's maximum health. So, insta-kill or not, this is going to be massive damage in TB. After it's used, Jedi Knight Cal's attacks ignore protection, and all allies gain 300% of Jedi Knight Cal's base offense for the rest of the battle. So use it once, and you're going to ignore protection for the rest of the turn on Cal, and then everybody gets 300% base offense, which is, I want to say, fairly close to what Qui-Gon Jinn's Omicron gives in GAC. So that's huge. That's massive. So, wow. Leadership, Weight of the Galaxy, final text, Jedi allies gain 50% defense, counter chance, and offense. That's all you get outside of TB. Let's just say it, you're never going to use this guy as a leader outside of territory battles. Now, in territory battles, at the start of the battle, allies gain 100% max health and max protection, and gain 300% of Jedi Knight Cal's defense. At the start of the encounter, allies gain plus 25% turn meter and frenzy for 2 turns. That's awesome. Defeated enemies can't be revived. That's great. And stacks of Impetuous persist across encounters. So really strong territory battle leader and useless anywhere else. And then his unique Jedi Knight Cal is immune to ability block, fear, and stun. Already big. When another Jedi ally attacks out of turn, Jedi Knight Cal recovers 10% health. Again, JML calling people out of turn like crazy, so that's going to be huge. And this is the big one. All Jedi allies are immune to cooldown manipulation from enemies. This is huge for JML. Is a massive win for that squad. And then, here we go. When a Jedi ally is inflicted with fear, they gain damage immunity for 1 turn and 60% turn meter. That's massive. That's huge. Sith Empire is done versus JML. This might mean you want to leave JML on defense, or this might just mean JML just became a very solid counter to Malgus, depending on what else you're using JML for, which Malgus, especially with those R9 Darth Revans and those R9 Darth Malaks that people are going to be having, Malgus just got a lot scarier in GAC, so this definitely may take them down a peg. We'll see what that does. And then, in the unique, whenever Jedi Knight Cal gains a configuration, he gains 5 stacks of Impetuous until the end of the encounter. So, for his other abilities, he's going to gain 10 stacks, basically, because this unique is going to trigger and give 5, and then his special 1 or his special 2 both give 5 additionally, so he'll get 10. His special 3, the Crossguard ability, removes 5, so he'll gain 5 and remove 5 when he does it, so it's a wash. So you're actually not losing anything, you're just not gaining anything. And then Impetuous gives plus 1% offense, minus 1% defense, and then the abilities we've talked about. So, wow. Thoughts on this generally. Number one, this changes the Jedi lineup in PvP significantly, I think. Worst case scenario, this guy just goes under JML with Hermit Yoda, Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Luke, and JML. Right, like that is going to be a strong team. Right, is that going to be the best use of those characters? Maybe not. He and JKR, he and Jedi Knight Revan have a lot of overlap to where this might free Revan up to go back and go with Bastila now that everybody's going to have her at R7. Jolie Bindo, some of your other Jedi. That may free up that second Jedi. Or maybe he replaces Jedi Knight Luke, and Jedi Knight Luke goes off and does his own thing. I know a lot of times in GAC, I end up using my Jedi Knight Luke for solos, or putting him with Hermit Yoda, using them for 2v5, and then I'll use JML, kind of a B-tier JML team, JML with leftover Jedi, basically, and they do their thing. Well, JML with this guy, and then JKL doing his own thing. Again, especially, I mean, we'll see how hard he hits, right? But if he can deal good damage, then that may not be a bad thing. So I'll probably try several options when I get him. Of course, I'm not going to get him round one, so we'll see what the community comes up with. But yeah, he's going to be good in PvP. In territory battles, I'm less sold, right? So he looks great in territory battles. Two of his Omicrons, especially, his leadership looks fantastic. And then which one was it? The Omicron on his crossguard ability that gives the supercharged offense and the protection ignore. Like, all of that sounds really good. The third Omicron, which is the first one we read, for windmill defense, that's going to recover health and protection and give protection up. It is an AoE stun, and it is an AoE armor shred, but I think of the three, that one may be the one that's skippable. But here's the problem. Territory battles. Already, you don't really need Omicrons in territory battles. They're nice. All of the Omicron characters, like, they have an impact, but it's just not needed. If you're in a guild that's doing Rise of the Empire, you're doing fine without any of the Omicrons in TB as of yet. So it's already kind of a steep ask for even one Omicron, much less multiple Omicrons in territory battles. The big question is, how is he going to do in the bonus mission with Seer Junda without any Omicrons? Because Seer's that special mission with Seer is the gateway to Zepho. Your guild has to, and we still don't have news on this, so we don't know who, but your guild has to have so many completions in Zepho before you can, you have to have so many completions on the special mission before you're able to move to Zepho. So Zepho is a new planetary zone that you can only access if you can clear that special mission, and right now, unaligned Force user Cal isn't getting it done. So can this Cal get it done without applying Omicrons? My gut says no. My gut says he will at least need the leadership. But we'll see. I would definitely not apply it right away. I would definitely try without those Omicrons applied. The other big question is, what is Zepho going to give us? We still have a big question mark there. We should know more tomorrow when the update comes out. We should have more information. I hope, and I've assumed up to this point, I hope that we'll get a big post. Doesn't necessarily have to be a road ahead, but a big post detailing how Zepho is going to work and what the rewards are going to be. Because you've got kind of a range, right? Over here, you've got currency that already exists in the game. You've got signal data, you've got relic salvage, you've got a bunch of, get 3, that kind of thing. Over here, you have something completely new. You have a new character, or relic 10. That's kind of the range that Zepho could have. If Zepho ends up providing just more of the same, depends on how much more, obviously, and it depends on what it is. If it's a Relic 9 catch-up, that may be great, especially for guilds that aren't really into territory wars. But it has to justify the investment. And the investment is not just Cal. The investment is the 5 characters needed to unlock Cal. The investment is the Relic 7 on Seer Junda. It's the Relic 7 on Cal himself. And then, that's just getting your foot in the door. Then the investment is a full guild's worth of Relic 7 operations, deployment, combat missions, special missions, all of that. Everything that comes with a planetary zone in TB. Which is just a massive guild coordination and investment. So if this is the new guild journey, right? A lot of your big guilds are finishing their Riva journey or are done with their Riva journey, right? If this is the new guild journey that kind of takes the place of pushing for Riva, is it going to be worth it? Because multiple TB Omicrons is a big ask. Even one TB Omicron is a big ask. At the moment, just reading this kit, my thought is, hey, I'll use him for PvP. I've got a Relic 5 Cal Kestis that I use with Starkiller. I will use with Ray. You know, he's great. And I may Relic Marin. But without a good enough reason going to Zepho, I'm more than fine leaving Saw, leaving Tarful, and maybe even Seer for a little while at Gear 12 and just moving on to something else. You know, claim Jedi Knight Cal as the prize, sticking with JML, and then, you know, Bob's your uncle, you're done. So we'll see what CG has to do there. We'll keep an eye on that. We should have more on Zepho tomorrow, I'm guessing. And we'll see what it's like. But all things said here, great kit, amazing animations. I haven't been this happy with animations since the Kyle Katarn kit reveal. And a pretty good legendary character. Definitely worth going for. Definitely if you have JML or if you have big investment into Jedi, this is a fantastic character. I'm really excited to see what the community has to do with him. There are definitely some YouTubers and streamers that I'm looking forward to watching them unlock him on day one and see what they can do with him, because some of the things this community can do is crazy. And like I said, watch for him in Conquest, because I guarantee you, we may even fight him in Conquest, but I guarantee you're going to see Conquest feats that are going to need what he has to offer, or just straight up need him. So we'll see where that goes. So all that said, that was Jedi Knight Cal. That was the major news today. We also got the event calendar. We got a title update that had a ton of quality of life changes in it, including the Datacron nodes, what they call treasure nodes in Conquest, will now be simmable. They don't look like they will give feat progress, but once you're done with Conquest, once you finished your red box, it's going to make it much, much easier to, with fairly minimal time investment, farm Datacron materials, which is big quality of life to anybody that's getting to that point. What else did we get? We got fleet loadouts. Fleet loadouts are great. You know, a lot of big things. We still don't have any word on Grand Inquisitor. Watch for that in tomorrow's update. I hope that he will go permanently to the Journey Guide, because I know a lot of guilds have a lot of people that are still missing GI that need him for Riva. So, you know, hopefully we can get to that point quickly. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a new Omicron tomorrow. It's been a little while. There are definitely some really good candidates in line for an Omicron. Raid Omicrons are something that people have really kind of hoped we would see for something like Jawas, Tuskens, Old Republic. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.